In our fast-paced world, time is often seen as a crucial measure of success. We track it, manage it, and sometimes even obsess over how much or how little we have. From work deadlines to fitness routines, and from personal milestones to professional achievements, the ticking clock seems to define every aspect of our lives. However, this relentless focus on time can be misleading and even detrimental to our progress. It suggests that success is only a matter of hours spent, rather than a combination of effort, passion, and presence in the moment. Have you ever found yourself staring at the clock during a workout, a meeting, or while working on a personal project? Each minute feels like it drags on forever, making the task feel more arduous than it actually is. This fixation on time transforms what could be an engaging and fulfilling experience into a race against the clock, where joy and satisfaction are overshadowed by impatience and frustration. When we place too much emphasis on time, we miss out on the essence of the journey itself. One of the best examples of this concept can be found in something as simple as running on a treadmill. If you've ever spent time on one, you know the temptation to keep checking the timer, counting down the seconds until you can stop. But here's the thing. When you constantly watch the clock, the workout feels longer, harder, and less enjoyable. On the flip side, if you lose yourself in the music, focus on your strides, and resist the urge to glance at the timer, you'll likely find the run more enjoyable, and you might even go farther than you expected. This shift in focus from time to experience is what truly drives long-lasting progress. The idea that time equals success is an illusion that often slows us down more than it helps. What really matters is our engagement in the task, our commitment to the process, and our ability to stay present, regardless of how long it takes. In this article, we'll explore why counting the hours can actually hinder your progress and how embracing the journey instead of the clock can lead to greater fulfillment and success in everything you do. By letting go of the obsession with time and focusing on the present moment, you free yourself to enjoy the process, whether it's in your personal life, career, or fitness goals. When you stop counting the hours, you'll discover that success isn't about how long something takes. It's about how much you grow, how fully you engage, and how persistently you strive toward your goals. So let's dive into why not counting the hours can transform the way you approach your aspirations and lead you toward a more fulfilling, joyful path to success. In many areas of life, we tend to obsess over time. Whether it's checking the clock at work, counting the minutes during a workout, or calculating how long it will take to achieve a particular goal, this focus on the ticking seconds can be counterproductive. There's a saying, "Don't count the hours, they don't matter," and it captures the essence of what it means to truly embrace the journey, not the time it takes. The treadmill analogy. A lesson in focus. Think back to the last time you ran on a treadmill. If you constantly look down at the timer, counting the seconds and waiting for the session to be over, chances are you found the run draining. Each second felt like an eternity, and the more you focused on the time, the harder it became to push through. You may have even found yourself mentally checking out, simply waiting for the end. Now, what if you flipped the script? Imagine putting on your favorite playlist, losing yourself in the rhythm, and focusing on the present, one step at a time. In this scenario, the clock fades into the background, and suddenly, you're running further than you thought possible. The difference here is mindset. When you're not counting the hours, you're free to focus on the process, which makes the experience much more enjoyable. The power of presence. This treadmill analogy is more than just a fitness observation. It reflects a larger truth about how we live our lives. When we fixate on time, we tend to feel more stressed, anxious, and ultimately less productive. But when we immerse ourselves in the task at hand and take it one stride at a time, we engage more fully in the experience, which can lead to better results and a more fulfilling journey. In many ways, life is like running on that treadmill. If you spend all your energy worrying about how long it will take to reach your goals, you rob yourself of the joy that comes from simply doing the work. You miss the small victories, the moments of growth, and the satisfaction of giving your best effort, all because you're too focused on the future. Why counting hours slows you down? Counting hours has a way of distorting our perception of progress. When you're focused on time, every minute feels like a measurement of how far you haven't come yet. In a sense, it creates a false sense of failure. You might think, "I've spent all this time, and I'm still not there." This mindset can make the goal feel distant, causing discouragement and leading you to give up more easily. On the other hand, when you stop counting the hours and focus on your present efforts, you shift your energy toward what truly matters: progress, not time. By giving your attention to the work you're doing rather than the time it takes, you're able to sustain momentum and actually reach your goals faster. The flow state. When time becomes irrelevant, psychologists often refer to the flow state as a mental state of complete immersion and focus. In this state, time seems to disappear. Hours can go by in what feels like minutes. Flow is often experienced when doing something you're deeply passionate about, whether it's creating art, writing, or engaging in physical activity. In these moments, you're not counting the hours, you're completely present in what you're doing. Achieving this flow state can be one of the most rewarding experiences in any endeavor. It allows you to work at your best without the mental burden of time tracking. Whether it's an athletic feat or a professional task, entering flow means you've let go of the clock and embraced the experience. Breaking the habit of time watching. For many of us, counting the hours is a habit. We've been conditioned to measure success in terms of time spent. But this is not necessarily a reflection of progress. Instead of counting the hours, focus on the quality of your work. Here are a few ways to shift your focus from time to progress. Set process-oriented goals. Instead of saying, "I want to lose 10 pounds in a month," shift your goal to, "I will commit to working out 4 times a week." This way, the focus is on consistent effort, not the time it takes to achieve the result. Celebrate small wins. Every step you take toward your goal is progress. Acknowledge these wins, no matter how small they seem. The more you recognize progress, the less you'll feel the need to count the hours. Embrace mindfulness. Being present in each moment, whether in your work, fitness routine, or personal life, helps you stay focused on what truly matters. Mindfulness practices like meditation can help you retrain your brain to stay present. Disconnect from clock. If you find yourself constantly checking the time, try putting the clock out of sight. When working out, cover the treadmill timer, or if you're working, use a time management technique like the Pomodoro method, where you work in focused intervals and only check the time at set breaks. Use music or other distractions. Just like in the treadmill example, music can be a powerful tool to take your focus off the clock and into the moment. Find what works for you, whether it's music, podcasts, or nature sounds, and let it guide your focus away from time. The joy of the journey. Ultimately, the lesson is simple: counting hours slows you down. It shifts your focus away from what truly matters and makes the process feel more burdensome. Whether you're working toward a fitness goal, a career achievement, or personal growth, remember that it's not the hours that count, but the effort, the joy, and the dedication you bring to the process. The next time you're tempted to check the clock, remind yourself that the hours don't matter. What matters is your commitment, your focus, and your willingness to enjoy the journey. When you stop counting the hours, you may just find that you reach your destination faster, and enjoy it much more along the way. In a world where time often feels like our most precious commodity, it's easy to become overly focused on the hours we spend trying to achieve our goals. However, when we become fixated on time, we lose sight of the bigger picture. Counting the hours can make the process seem slow, draining, and unrewarding. It's a mindset that turns the act of progress into a burden, weighing us down and leading us to doubt our abilities. The analogy of running on a treadmill teaches us a valuable lesson. When we focus on the timer, every second feels longer, and our efforts seem harder. But when we lose ourselves in the moment, immersed in the rhythm of each step and the enjoyment of the experience, time fades into the background. This same principle applies to nearly every area of life, from our personal goals to our professional endeavors. The key to success lies in shifting our focus away from the clock and toward the process. Instead of measuring progress in terms of hours, we can measure it by the effort we put in, the lessons we learn, and the growth we experience. When we learn to appreciate the journey, not just the destination, we discover a sense of fulfillment that time cannot quantify. By embracing the flow state, where time becomes irrelevant and our full attention is on the task at hand, we can achieve more than we ever thought possible. This state of deep focus and engagement allows us to operate at our best, free from the stress and pressure of time constraints. Breaking the habit of counting the hours requires a shift in mindset. It means setting process-oriented goals, celebrating small victories, practicing mindfulness, and letting go of the need to constantly check the clock. When we immerse ourselves fully in the moment, we allow ourselves to enjoy the journey, which ultimately leads to better results. In the end, life is not a race against the clock. It's a series of moments that shape who we are and what we achieve. If we focus too much on time, we miss the beauty of the process, the joy of progress, and the satisfaction that comes from giving our best effort. So, the next time you find yourself counting the hours, remember, they don't matter. What matters is your commitment, your focus, and your enjoyment of the journey. When you stop watching the clock, you might just find that success comes more easily, and with far more joy than you ever expected.